Harry. So the Minister of Energy, Transportation, Darryl Vaz, he wrote an article in the papers today. You want us to just look at that? Can you give us a little bit of what the minister was saying there?
Sure. Well,
Yes.
it's a beautiful title as well, because it speaks to the variability and the adaptability of Mr. Holness. All right, it's called
Yes.
the Andrew Holness's Audacity, a leader for all seasons.
Well, that
Right?
must be the editor. Must be the editor.
Right. So, in terms of what is being said, and I'll quote it directly. And just read some of it real quickly. It says,
Yes.
as a proud son of this nation and a member of cabinet that has had the honor of serving under Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness for the past decade, I took quiet time over the weekend to read, reflect, and absorb the 2026-27 national budget presentation. What emerges is not mere rhetoric, but a clear, connected vision that has been methodically executed despite systematic challenges, global shocks, and two devastating hurricane in 5 years.
Yes.
After 10 years as Prime Minister and an unprecedented third consecutive term for the Jamaica Labour Party administration, I can state without hesitation or partisan bias that Andrew Holness has become Jamaica's best Prime Minister in our modern history.
Oh, hold on. That's what Mr. Baz is saying.
That is a praise he has lauded to the feet at Mr. Holness's.
My God.
And he goes a little further as well to say the numbers.
Read on for us, yes.
Right. He said the numbers prove it. The visible progress across our parishes confirms it. And the lived reality of our people from the hills of Portland to the plains of St. James bear witness to it. The Prime Minister Holness entered office with more than a slogan, right? He arrived with a comprehensive vision for a modern, resilient, and prosperous Jamaica and the discipline to connect every policy dot to deliver it. Whether, let me just see here, whether in housing, economic transformation, crime reduction, youth empowerment, or the protection of the vulnerable and elderly, the record is one of deliberate, sustained execution. And that is definitely something we've been seeing, we've been also speaking on in terms of the consistency for this. So he's definitely one for all seasons and for all disasters, apparently. At particular junctions, he was accused of being too bold, too hopeful, or too ambitious, particularly regarding plans relating to crime, the economy, and development. Personally, I am glad that we have a Prime Minister with the vision and audacity to dream incredibly and plan accordingly. Under his leadership, the government has delivered thousands of new and upgraded homes through initiatives such as the new social housing program and the multiple low-cost sustainable developments across St. Thomas, St. Catherine, St. Andrew, and Westmoreland. Infrastructural investments have unlocked land for further housing. Titles have been handed over by the hundreds, and the dream of home ownership, once distant for so many, is now within reach for ordinary Jamaicans.
Yes.
On the economic front, Jamaica is experiencing its strongest economy since independence. Now, this is heavy. We have recorded the most consistent and sustained period of quarterly growth in the last 30 years, with 19 consecutive quarters of expansion before the COVID interruption. Unemployment stands at a record low of approximately 3.3%, practically full employment, while the national poverty rate has fallen to a historic 7.8% in 2024, the lowest since records has been kept in 1989, with extreme poverty at just 2.7%. The Holness audacity. These gains were achieved while navigating COVID-19 and a major natural disaster. Yet our recovery has been unprecedented in speed, and our economy has proven resilient enough to absorb shocks that would have crippled previous administrations. Neighbor, and this is something we spoke on, that had we not had that 10 years of preparation, because that's how we title it, we would have been crippled. We have been left exposed to the elements. Now, it goes on to further, Minister Vaz goes on to further say, nowhere is transformation more dramatic than in public safety. The number of murders fell from 1,147 in 2024 to 673 in 2025, which represents a 43% reduction in a single year, marking the first time in 31 years that Jamaica's murder toll has dropped below 700. And again, the media didn't run with this, neighbor, right? They didn't see the need to push this achievement, not for the administration or Mr. Holness, but for the people of Jamaica. But Minister Vaz went on to say early 2026 figures show a further 29.4% decline. This is not luck. It is the result of sustained intelligence-led operations and all-out assault on gangs, legislative strengthening, and the deliberate building of state capacity to outmatch criminal elements while respecting human rights. For 23 years prior to this administration, Jamaica recorded over 1,000 murders annually, creating a scourge that previous prime ministers could not contain despite their best efforts. Under Prime Minister Holness, we are charting a safer Jamaica where communities can breathe, businesses can thrive, and families can plan without fear. He went on to say also, and it's titled, Protecting All, Including the Vulnerable. Now, equally impressive is a focus on our youth and protection of the vulnerable and elderly. Through the 1 billion Solidarity Program, 50,000 of our most socially excluded citizens are receiving direct cash support. The Social Pension Program for vulnerable Jamaicans aged 75 and older has been significantly increased, and the Program of the Advancement through Health and Education, otherwise known as PATH, continues to uplift pregnant women, nursing mothers, children, and the elderly. These are not afterthoughts. They are central pillars of a government that understands sustained to this state. That understand prosperity must be shared. When we launched the Partnership for Prosperity campaign, Holness was clear to the entire team. He wishes to transform Jamaica. This he has done. When one compares Prime Minister Holness's record to those of his predecessors, the difference is stark. Earlier administrations inherited and sometimes exacerbated high debt, chronic crime above 1,000 murder threshold for decades, and poverty rates that kept far too many Jamaicans trapped in cycles of deprivation. Prime Minister Holness inherited systematic weaknesses, yet has delivered the most robust infrastructure development since the 1960s. Historic crime reductions, record low poverty and unemployment, and an economy that has rebounded from global and domestic shocks with a speed and resilience unmatched in our history. Now, there's another part that says a better Jamaica for generations to come. So I guess this is the for, looking for the future. No other prime minister has faced and overcome the magnitude of crises that Andrew Holness and his administration has confronted, from a once-in-a-century pandemic to back-to-back devastating and unprecedented hurricanes such as Beryl and Melissa, all while still advancing a clear development agenda. Doing all this whilst dealing with simultaneous politically orchestrated attacks. Let me read that again. Doing all this whilst dealing with simultaneous politically orchestrated attacks, which started as early as 2016 surrounding his house and have sustained to this date, which is a decade. Unrelenting is nothing short of commendable. This perseverance has laid the foundation for limitless possibilities and advancement for Jamaica's future. As one has been privileged to serve in his journey of nation building through its ups and downs in an increasingly complex world, I say simply, thank you, Prime Minister. The progress the progress is visible to anyone willing to drive across Jamaica rather than listen to the noise in the market square. Empty barrels make the most noise, but the objective data, the lowered crime statistics, the new homes, the jobs created, and the hope on the faces of our elderly and youth tell the true story. Jamaica is on the right path towards prosperity for all. Let us continue the work of rebuilding bigger and better. We are a smart and grateful nation who made the right choice for Jamaica in 2016, 2020, and 2025. There is much work to do to recover bigger and better and more resilient, and the Andrew Holness administration has the wisdom, innovative policies, and the tools to do it for Jamaica land we love. On a personal note, I will surely retire from public office knowing that Jamaica is much better off for generations to come, and certainly much better off than Jamaica was for my generation.
Darryl Vaz is Member of Parliament for Portland Western and Minister of Transport, Telecommunications and Energy. I guess we're gonna have to break this down again tomorrow, Harry, to look at what Minister Vaz is saying. But a great endorsement of his Prime Minister, eh?
Definitely, neighbor, especially coming from the man that says bus after bus after bus.